How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Tim's Vape Lounge. Today we're going to take a look at the Sigelei 100 Watt Plus. I had a big long spiel last time about some difficulties with plumbing I'm having, but screw it. Let's just jump into this. I hope you're all doing well. I've tweaked the setup even further from the blog. I now have attached the clamp light to a tripod, put an extra piece of parchment paper over it, and yeah, it's happily sitting over there, and I can sit at this angle where it's a little bit more comfortable, because with it all set up on my desk, it's a mess. This is it. This is much easier to use after it breaks in. A little e-juice here. After it breaks in, it really does just slide on and off of the mod. Here's the swooshes that are a bit Marmite and a little bit more e-juice. I don't like them at all. I think they look pretty silly. I think they look pretty silly on here. Still weeping around the AFC because I re-whipped ahead last night and flooded it really badly. Biblical proportions of flooding. Not 40 days and 40 nights, probably 40 seconds, and I had juice coming out. What is this thing? It's a regulated box mod. It uses two 18650 batteries in series to crank out anywhere between 10 and 100 watts, as long as you don't bump up against either the current limit of it or 8.5 volts. So if you want to run like a 3 ohm, you know, some massive coil, just a big 3 ohm coil, you're not gonna hit 100 watts. You might hit 35 or so. But here it is. I'm rocking the Sub-Tank Mini on it with the 1.2 ohm head in it because I need to rebuild the RBA section. I don't like the last build I put in there. But we're at 19.5 watts, and it is a splendid vape. It does the job. I really like this box. It works very well. How much is it going to cost you? You might be wondering. Well, you can find it really all day long for anywhere between 80 and 100 and some bucks. I don't know that I'd pay 100 for it. Having said that, I did, because when I bought this, everybody was out of stock. I think I paid like 95 bucks from Sigelei, and I'm fine with that. If you didn't know, they're in Hawaii. They had this bitch to me in 2 days. Well, them and the postal service, but they shipped it right on the spot. And yeah, I couldn't be a whole lot happier with it if I could fill those swooshes in. Battery life is outstanding. If you're gonna vape like a Sub-Tank on this, especially if you have something 25 watts or less, pardon me, it's very polite in terms of its battery consumption. You will probably make it, I don't know, 2 days or so. I couldn't tell you because I get silly and I run big stupid builds on here and vape at 100 watts from time to time. Depends on the juice. One juice in there I really like at 68. Another, it's 100 watts. It's really good. I have this Capone here from Mountain Oak. Jesus, lights. This stuff tastes best at 100 watts in there. It's got Clapton coils in it. Bit of ramp up. But it does what it says on the tin. It will fire down lower than I build. I don't go lower than 0.2. But it will fire, I think, down to 1.5 or so. 0.15. Yeah, it's great. You do need to marry your batteries. I should pay attention to my show notes instead of just trying to wing this. You need to marry your batteries. Now, what that means is I've got 2 sets of batteries. One that lives in it and one that lives in a case around the charger. Battery marriage, that's where we were. Boy, when the kids want their fiber gummies, they want them now. I have this case. Oops, labeled as 2. And my battery is labeled 2A and 2B. Now, what I do is if I'm not going to throw these in the charger right away, I will take them out of here and I swap their positions. That's why I have A and B on here. Because in a series circuit, they won't discharge 100% evenly, and your higher battery is going to try to charge your lower battery. So I swap their positions every time. Now throw them in my charger, or I take them out of here, I put them in the case. So whatever was on the positive side up at the 510 position, I take and I put that positive side down on the right side of my case. Just swap their positions. Throw them in the charger like that, pull them out, put them in the case like that. I don't know if you have to do that, but I read that it was the best practice. And since they do discharge unevenly, it kind of makes sense to me. It doesn't bother me at all to do it. It's just it's a habit that I made so that I remember to do it, because frankly, I'm an idiot. This does not have a USB port on it, and thank goodness, because then people would be trying to charge series batteries on a dinky little USB charger, which I think is a pretty bad idea, unless you have one of the external chargers that you plug in USB. Then fair enough. I have an eFest Luke V4 charger. I can pick 500 milliamps, 1 amp, or 2 amps to charge. 2 amps only in the center 2 bays. If I'm in a hurry, I charge at 1 amp. If I'm not in a hurry, I just let them go at 500 milliamps. The charge time doesn't bother me because I don't go through these quicker than they recharge. Having said that, my vape habits. I do vape more than probably other people because I'm a stay-at-home dad. I ain't got shit else to do, really. If I'm busy, I don't vape that much, and I will go a day and a half on a charge. But if I'm caught up on my duties, I just kind of hang out at the computer and watch videos and do a nerd thing. Then I'll vape quite a bit more, and if then I'm going to be running drippers and whatnot. Then I'm usually, my dripper builds, I tend to go for deluxe coils, I guess we'd say. Tugboat right now has a zipper build in it. This has Claptons in it. I think this guy's just got a vanilla 26 gauge build in it. Yes, it does, and that's going to get replaced quite soon. I had vertical 24s in there that I really liked, and I wanted to, because I was out of 26 at the time, and I wanted to try it differently. But most of my builds, I do favor high power, huge surface area to get lots of flavor out of a build. So when you're vaping at 100 watts, every 2 pulls, you're looking at 1% gone. I pull my batteries at about 45 to 50% because then I'm looking at about 3.6 volts in each of the cells, and that works just fine for me. You rock one of these all the time, and yeah, you're gonna go forever. So let's talk about the size of this bad boy. How does it feel in the hand and all of that good stuff? So for my American friends, we're looking at 2.5 inches wide and 4 1/8 tall, or 4 1/16 tall, sorry. And we are all but an inch wide. If you are the rest of the world, you're looking at 56.5 mil wide and about 103 tall and 23 deep. It is comfortable in the hand. I really like it with the sleeve. I think it feels fantastic with the silicone sleeve on it. It has holes for the buttons. It's still very comfy to use. There's a cutout for the screen, cutout for the venting. This does have venting on the bottom, and it's got a nice weight to it. And this is really grippy. I really like it, and I don't have to look at these ridiculous swooshes. What you doing, buddy? Watch out for that cord, honey. So that's that. You know, it looks just fine with a 22 mil tank on here. My wife has the Limo, so I can't show you a 23. Come on. You know I had that on so tight. This thing is still weeping out the AFC ring. Good job, me. So this is, wow. Tugboat V2 clone. This is like I said, a 28 gauge zipper coil build. Right now I have a mixture of juice in here. That looks horrible. But it's, don't mind me manually focusing left-handed. That's close enough. Yeah, 28 gauge zipper. Right now I've got a mixture of Flavors by Joe, Monkey Butt, and Good Life, Deadly Sin. Now, Deadly Sin is a cinnamon roll kind of vape, which is a little bit, it's not the kind of thing I'd like to vape at 75 watts. It's really good. It's a fantastic tank juice. But when I have my coffee in the mornings, I want something that seems appropriate to go with coffee. So, now, you might also be asking, and this is a great question, Tim, why in God's name would you buy a juice called Monkey Butt, and what the f does it taste like? It's caramel moon pie. It's really good. It's super sweet, though, but it is very, very good. When you mix the two, you still get kind of a cinnamon bun vibe. It's more like a Cinnabon versus a good, like, sticky bun or cinnamon bun. But it also cuts the cinnamon down to where I can really enjoy it when this thing is doing work. I run this at 75 watts. And, yeah, it's about a 0.25. That is insanely good. So good. I do wish this had slightly more airflow for this build. And I'll be honest with you, doing a zipper coil on a 3-post like this, I had to drill the posts out, and it was still a massive pain in the dick. And while I was trimming leads, I clipped one of the coils, had to make another one. It took me entirely too long to build this. But you can see it runs admirably at 75. Let's go whole hog here. We'll do the full Monty. Do a little 100-watt vaping for you. This is the Freak Show. This is really just a Wotofo A-mod kind of day, because this is one of their cherry press fit drip tips, which I quite like. It is very, very nice. Let's see if we can get a focus on that. Don't mind the coils, they kind of need dry burn. No, of course. Webcam, why would you autofocus? There we go. Yeah, it's 30/24, and it works really, really well. It's a bit power hungry. I wish I had 34. I'd rather have done 34/26. Well, let's just paint some little happy clouds on here. And yes, guy who commented on Grim Green's video about the freak show, I'm totally stealing that. I watched so much of The Joy of Painting when I was a youngster. I adore Bob Ross. So, here we are. You son of a bitch. Oh, now you want to autofocus. 100 watts. So much blueberry, so much torty, custardy goodness. Well, that's on here for the rest of the day. That is so good. I adore this thing to bits. So, let's jump over here to the desk and let me figure out how I'm going to do this. See you in a minute. Oh, wait. Let's do something cliched. Alrighty, folks. Here we are up close and friendly with the Sigelei 100 Watt Plus. This is a bit tricky because I hadn't prepared, and my desk is an absolute mess right now. Because I just, essentially rebuilt my computer. And, hey, it's upside down, dummy. There we go. Get this over here. You can see we've got a fire button. It is 5 press on and off. System off. System on. Sorry about the desk light. I should really turn that off. Wattage above 50 watts is, son of a bitch, focus. Let's try that. Oh, that's better. Above 50 watts, you move in 1 watt increments, and I think that is quite nice. It accelerates quite quickly. Let's go back up to 100. We'll go all the way down to 10. See how quickly this goes. Yeah, it is stupid fast between 10 and 49.9 because you can probably see here we're moving in 0.1 increments, which is nice. Resolution and control over your vape is great. However, that drives me freaking crazy because if let's say I'm at 12.5 and I want to throw something else on here. So let's say I had like a 1 ohm 28 gauge single coil building a magma, and I put the sub tank on here, and I want to run it at 25. Right? I'll just hold this down, and oops, way past it. That wasn't even on purpose. This is really hard to do looking at my monitor. That's about as close as you're going to get. That annoys me. If there's one thing I could change about this, it'd be that. Just give me half watt resolution. I think that's plenty. We covered the size of this bad boy. Let me get this Addy off of here. What can I put this on? Oh, aqua tank is broken, so I'll just put it there. You can see we've got a nice flush-mounted 510 fitting there. It is stainless. That post appears to be brass, and it is sprung-loaded, as Todd would say. The old tweezers here. Yes, I broke down and bought some ceramic tweezers. It is a stiff spring, but it's broken in nicely, and everything fits without problem. Here are your swooshies. Again, it's love it or hate it, and frankly, I'm more, well, I don't hate them because you get this pretty awesome sleeve, but I don't like them as much. So you've got the world's greatest magnetic battery door, IMO. You have these super beefy magnets on here. And it's a nice, really nice, feels like an aluminum alloy of some sort. And we are in series here, plus minus. That's fine. With all the safety features built into this bad boy, I don't mind at all. I do run Sammy 25Rs. Listen to this. Oh, it's so nice. So nice. We do a venting on the bottom. Hey, now we can see it. We've got venting on the bottom there. And it feels nice. Nice bevels on the edges, which annoyingly catch the light in here and attempt to blind you. Ooh, lens flare. Attempt to blind you. The screen is a good quality. It's nice and bright. Outside, it can be tricky to see, but, you know, the sun does a pretty good job for being a rather mediocre star 93 million miles away. So it can make it a bit tricky to see outside, but if I'm outside, I don't often mess with my wattage. I kind of set it where I want it and just leave it there. No button rattle. Every once in a while, I hit this fire button just the right way, and it gets a little haywire. It doesn't auto-fire, it doesn't get stuck, it just feels off-center. I know some people have reported that their buttons get stuck, and other people are saying that the solution is to put a sticker on here, just get some clear label material and make it a little bigger. It will kind of keep that from happening. I have not had that problem. What else? I covered that, and I can't scroll with my mouse on my laptop. Yep, that covers the down low. See you up top in a minute. Sorry for smacking the camera. There we go, folks. That was the up-close look at the Sigelei 100 Watt Plus. Don't mind me, just painting some happy clouds here. Let's do some thoughts on this Bad Mama Jamma. Oh, Stevie Wonder, how good is he? This is a fantastic little mod. I think it's good size for the performance that you get. It's comfortable in the hand. I can't comment for people with hands smaller than these. I would just say they're average dude hands. I don't have particularly large hands. It'll run the number. That's a 100 watt vape there, and it's fantastic. That is flavor. If you haven't ever tried building a Clapton, I'd really recommend it. It's not that bad to do. You have full control over your vape below 50 watts. We're talking about that 0.1 watt resolution. Having said that, I don't know how useful it is. It impairs the usability of the device below 50 watts, in my opinion. I would rather see 0.5 watt. I think that is a reasonable trade-off. It's way less button presses to get from 10 to 50. The swooshes, they're kind of the elephant in the room. They don't bother me because I think that this sleeve is fantastic. I like the way this feels better with the sleeve on it. I like how grippy it is, and I like that if I set it down on my desk and I'm not paying attention and I turn my chair around and it falls over on its side just like that, it's going to be fine. You do have to watch out for, if you're like me and you tend to have a lot of shits throughout the day, every time you take an Addy off of this, turn the power down. I have put an Earl Conigan on here with this thing set to 50 watts because I was vaping my Aqua on it and gotten a really unpleasant dry hit experience. iWick with rayon, so it is very much like, yeah, it's bad. I was gonna use a Reddit term, but I don't want to turn all of you off that watch this video. But yeah, it's unpleasant. Um, I think it's fantastic. Now the question is, would you buy another one, Tim? And the last time I shot this video, a couple of weeks ago, before my hard drive decided to have the magnetic material delaminate from the platters, the answer would have been, oh yeah, all day long and twice on Sundays. But it's not now. I'd buy the 150. Not that I particularly need 150 watts, but that red dough, have you seen it? Oh my god, it's sexy. That box is beautiful, and no stupid swooshes on the side. So, having said all that, I'd buy the 150. And it's got the murdered out buttons, which, you know, if that's your thing, you like it. I think it doesn't look the world's best with the red, but, you know, they're buttons. If it bothers you that much, don't buy it or buy it and change them. And frankly, I don't know how much good the red would do because it would live in this sleeve. But I think it's a fantastic box. If you're looking to move up from, let's say, a 20 or 30 watt device, your Vamo's on its last legs, you know, your DNA 20 is just not scratching the itch for you anymore, I think you could do a hell of a lot worse for less than $100. You are going to need good batteries. Don't run, you know, trust fires in this. LG HE4s are really, really nice. Samsung 25Rs are really good. And you can never go wrong with authentic Sonys. They're fantastic. EFS Purples are okay, but they're just rewraps. MXJOs, quite nice, also rewraps. If you want to know more, look up the Amp Hour by Pegasus Vapor Academy. Awesome series on batteries. But anyway, there we go. If you're as passionate as I am about vaping and you really enjoy this and you think it's fantastic because of the years it's given you back, why don't you consider joining CASA.org? It's not going to take anything more than your time unless you choose to donate, which they'd love to have our money. It's tax season. Give them $50 or so. If everybody that vaped gave them $50, we wouldn't have to worry so much about really awful legislation ruining our vape. But please join that, and as always, thank you so much for not smoking. Take care, and I'll see you next time.